Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are cracking open a file that is absolutely crucial for anyone thinking about the long-term economics of an electric vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
You've handed us a fantastic set of sources. We have the formal analyst true cost of ownership data from Edmunds, and then we have something I think a little more valuable.
The real world numbers.
Exactly. The 6-year, 164,000-mile financial diary of a 2019 Tesla Model 3 long-range owner.
This is where the story gets really interesting.
It is. So our mission today is to move past the hype, past the marketing, and really figure out the true financial picture of a high-mileage EV once that manufacturer warranty is gone.
Right.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
Does the legendary EV maintenance savings, does it actually outweigh the risk of these sudden, massive component failures? And what about the drain of high insurance premiums?
This is the moment that EV rubber really meets the financial road. I mean, the early TCO narratives, they were extremely favorable.
Oh, unbelievably so.
We saw estimates, where the Model 3 TCO was around, what, $4,100 a year?
Yeah, and that was just so much better than its competitors. Like a BMW 330i was closer to $9,000 a year.
A huge difference. But that entire economic argument was built on two things. Government incentives, for one,
Sure.
and the assumption that maintenance costs would be, like, near zero. But at 160,000 miles, that whole risk profile just inverts completely.
How so?
Well, you stop worrying about a $100 oil change and you start worrying about a potential $15,000 repair.
Okay, let's start with the good news then, because the core mechanical promise of the EV, it really is fulfilled here.
It absolutely is.
Routine maintenance is just, it's shockingly cheap. No oil changes, no spark plugs, no complex transmission services. It's the dream.
It's a genuine triumph of engineering simplicity. So simple, in fact, that those initial analyst projections look kind of ridiculous in hindsight.
What do they project?
Edmunds projected that over 5 years, the total repair cost for a Model 3 would be nearly $8,300.
Okay, but the real-world data from our high-mileage driver tells a very different story.
A completely different story. It just undercuts that analyst fear entirely. This owner, over 6 years and 164,000 miles, spent a total of $5,748.
And that's for everything.
That's for all tires and all unforced, out-of-warranty mechanical repairs combined.
Wow.
If you take out the tires, the actual repair bills are truly minuscule compared to what you'd expect for a luxury car.
So the savings are definitely real, but when repairs do happen, they sort of reveal this unique vulnerability of these high-tech vehicles.
Absolutely. The repairs aren't frequent, but they are expensive.
Hmm.
And they're very specific to the integrated electronic systems.
Right.
For instance, the expected replacement of the little 12-volt lead-acid battery. That was after 5 years, cost $112. Normal.
Okay, that's nothing. But then came the severe failures.
The parts nobody ever talks about.
Exactly.
The cabin heater, which uses a PTC heater, it failed. That cost over $1,100, and that's part of the integrated climate control?
Not a simple fix.
Not at all. And then the super bottle, which is this incredibly complex valve system that manages all the cooling fluids for the battery, the motor, the cabin, everything.
What'd that cost?
That was a $672 hit. These failures show that the real TCO risk is in the thermal management system, not the drivetrain itself.
It's a fascinating trade-off, isn't it? You swap frequent, cheap repairs for these infrequent, highly specialized and expensive ones. Speaking of frequency, though, the owner did have one surprisingly high recurring bill. Tires.
Yes. The heavy high-performance anomaly.
Yeah.
Despite the mechanical simplicity, the instant torque, and just the sheer weight of that battery pack.
It just shreds them.
It shreds them. The owner went through 5 sets of tires in 6 years.
5, 6.
Which alone totaled over $3,000. Rapid tire wear is a confirmed major recurring cost for these cars.
Okay, so we've established the owner saved a lot of money on, wrenches and fluids. But the big question for you, the listener, is where did those savings actually go? What is the real financial Achilles heel here?
It is, without any question, insurance volatility.
The numbers here they're truly stunning. This owner's insurance payments over 6 years, nearly $17,000.
Just think about that for a second. The insurance bill. It completely dwarfed the combined cost of the tires and all the other out-of-warranty repairs.
So it costs more than 3 times as much to insure the car as it did to fix and maintain it.
Exactly. The insurance was so high it actually exceeded the Edmunds 5-year projection by thousands of dollars.
Wait, let's break this down. If the owner saved, say, 5 to 7,000 on mechanical maintenance compared to a normal car,
Right.
but spent an extra 7,000 on insurance compared to the projections,
Yeah.
doesn't that just neutralize the TCO advantage?
It is severely eroded, yes. The savings aren't gone, but they're dramatically offset. And it forces us to ask, why are Model 3 premiums so uniquely high?
Okay, why?
It really boils down to two things: performance risk and claim severity.
High performance we get, but explain claim severity. Why is a fender bender on a Model 3 so much more costly for an insurer?
It's the complex structure. The car uses aluminum frames. The battery pack is integrated right into the structure.
Ah,
And every collision, even a minor one, involves these sophisticated, high-cost repairs. A small impact means you need a certified center, specialized labor, and this is critical. You have to recalibrate all the sensors and cameras for autopilot.
so even a tiny bump can become a huge bill.
A huge bill. And it spikes the repair cost, which raises the chance it gets totaled out. We also can't ignore claim frequency.
Right.
The sources note the Model 3 has a high frequency of claims. One study showed nearly 30% of repairable EVs in their analysis were Model 3s.
So more frequent claims that are also more expensive to fix.
That's the combination: high frequency and extremely high severity. It means insurers just assign it a much, much higher risk factor.
So what does this all mean? The promised low maintenance is real, but the overall TCO picture is far less rosy because those savings are just being vacuumed up by high insurance premiums.
That's it, exactly.
Let's shift to the component everyone fears most.
Yeah.
The main traction battery. This 2019 long-range model is way past its mileage warranty now.
Well past the 120,000-mile mark.
So what does the data say about its longevity at nearly 165,000 miles?
The longevity data is actually the story of great durability.
Mhm.
The original EPA range was 310 miles.
Okay.
At almost 165,000 miles, the owner now observes a range of about 250 miles. So that's a total capacity loss of approximately 19%.
19%. How does that stack up against the warranty?
Well, compare that to the warranty floor. Tesla guarantees 70% retention over 8 years or 120,000 miles.
Right.
This car is still retaining 81% of its capacity. It really confirms the fundamental durability of the power unit.
But the financial risk is still there because the mileage warranty is expired. So what is the owner, and really you, the listener, facing now?
You're facing what's called a massive contingent liability risk.
Meaning?
It means there's a low probability of something happening, but if it does, the cost is catastrophic.
And in this case, that's the battery failing.
A catastrophic, non-repairable battery failure. And the cost for replacement could be anywhere from $8,000 to $18,000.
So that exposure confirms that the battery pack is the single biggest financial worry once that warranty is gone.
Absolutely. You're effectively managing risk instead of managing routine wear and tear.
But despite that 19% degradation, the car is still perfectly functional for daily use.
Oh, completely. The 250-mile range it has now is functionally the same as what a brand new 2019 standard range Model 3 offered off the lot.
So road trips are still possible.
For sure. The supercharger network is spaced efficiently enough, usually under 100 miles apart, that long trips are still viable. The owner only noted real difficulty when external factors come into play, like putting a big bike rack on the back. It dramatically increases aerodynamic drag, and that can make a 125-mile gap between chargers a little challenging.
Okay, let's talk about the final financial risk factor, the expensive full self-driving feature that this early buyer purchased.
Right, FSD.
The owner reports using the latest supervised version, describing it as driving almost like a good human driver.
Which is high praise, The system is clearly capable. It can handle rotaries. It can brake for unexpected obstacles. It navigates complex environments well. But, and here's where it gets really interesting. Despite that capability, it is still a supervised system. The owner emphasizes that immediate human intervention is still necessary to prevent serious accidents.
And it's needed for specific recurring glitches that the software updates don't seem to fix.
Precisely. The system struggles with certain situations. It consistently ignores low 20-mile-per-hour school zone signs.
That's a big deal.
A huge deal. It fails to slow down for these big drainage dips you see in Utah that require manual braking. And most worryingly, at complex intersections, it sometimes puts the car in the wrong part of the lane, forcing the driver to grab the wheel immediately.
And for this owner, that big investment in FSD is now threatened by the Hardware 3 versus Hardware 4 divide.
This is a classic case of technological obsolescence. The newest, most advanced FSD software V14 and beyond, it's being optimized for cars with the superior Hardware 4.
So the millions of early adopters with the older hardware, HW3,
They're essentially left waiting in line.
which creates functional obsolescence. The value of the software they paid for years ago is diminished because their hardware can't run the latest versions properly.
That's exactly it. Tesla management has said they need to take care of these early adopters, but the timeline for a real hardware upgrade, which could involve new CPUs, cameras, wiring, it's uncertain and it keeps getting delayed.
So it pushes HW3 owners toward just trading in their cars for a new one.
It pushes them to trade in for a new HW4-equipped vehicle to get the full value of the FSD promise.
It transforms what was supposed to be a lifetime software asset into a financial gamble tied to aging silicon.
It absolutely does. The FSD investment is impaired until that retrofit promise is delivered, or, the owner just accepts they may never see the true cutting edge of the software they bought.
So this deep dive gives us extremely valuable clarity, particularly for you, the high-mileage EV owner. The data confirms the EV drivetrain's superior durability and that promise of negligible routine maintenance.
That part is real.
It is. However, those mechanical savings are heavily offset by high insurance premiums and the terrifying massive financial risk of out-of-warranty failures.
The battery, the thermal systems, and the hardware obsolescence.
Yeah.
The challenge of EV longevity, it isn't mechanical wear, it's managing these high-cost, integrated electronic and battery components that fail infrequently, but when they do, they fail catastrophically.
So the whole cost of ownership model shifts.
It shifts entirely. You go from dealing with the frequency of scheduled maintenance to constantly managing the severity of unexpected five-figure risks.
That shift from routine expense to catastrophic risk is the key takeaway you need to apply to your own financial planning. Thank you for sharing these sources and letting us synthesize them into this clear, actionable conversation.
It was a necessary exploration, I think, into the true financial reality of the high-mileage electric future.
If you enjoyed synthesizing sources into clear, interesting knowledge like this, be sure to follow the deep dive for more personalized insights derived directly from material like the notes you shared today. Thank you for listening.